Hello and welcome to the Champions of Happy podcast, the podcast where I talk to my friends about what makes them happy, what makes them smile, and what brings them joy. Hi everyone, this is James, the host of the podcast Champions of Happy. On this episode, I'm joined by Tin. He is a singer and songwriter. We talk about his videos and music from the past, and his current songs, his current single Stung, and his future work. Please be aware, in this episode there is some strong language. If you're enjoying the podcast, please go to iTunes and give us a 5-star rating and a lovely comment. That way the podcast can continue to grow and we can reach out to more people and share more stories. You can find the Champions of Happy on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. So if you like what you hear, give us a follow. And now, on to the episode. Enjoy. Hello and welcome to the podcast, Tin. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm hungover. How are you going?
I am also, as I've just mentioned before we started, very hungover. Today is a challenge.
Lucky listeners.
Right? Lucky you guys. haven't done it for an episode for a while, and I come back and I've got a hungover guest, I've got a hungover host. You're welcome, everybody. You're welcome. So, why are you so hungover? Let's dive into that question.
I went to a house party last night, and it was meant to be like a just one or just two glasses night. That obviously never ends up being just two glasses. And it was really fun. Like, I thought it was a small gathering, but it ended up being a big party, and it was really fun.
Ah, good. Well, at least you had fun.
Yeah. That's right.
It's not the hangover, but at least you had fun. So, for our listeners who, oddly enough, don't know who you are, could you please explain and introduce yourself to the world, please?
So my name is Tin, and I am a pop singer-songwriter from Australia. I live in London with my partner, and I'm pretty good. Which is why I'm pretty here.
Good. You're not just good, Tin, you're great. So, you're from Australia.
Yes.
How long have you been in London and why the move?
I've been back and forth. I used to live here in 2017. But why the move? Well, because my partner's English, and I met him while I was on tour in 2019. And we have decided that we're going to base ourselves in the UK. He offered Australia, but I was like, no. We're staying in London.
Do you miss it? Do you miss home?
I miss the people. I don't miss Australia. Yeah.
Are you not? Because I've never been to Australia, but is it not like a hot place? Do you not miss that?
Yeah, I mean, like,
that really dumb question.
Yes, yeah, it's a lot hotter than it is here. Our summers especially are like excruciating at best. But like all the crap just all the bad stuff about Australia just isn't worth missing, to be honest.
Fair.
Yeah.
You've obviously got an Australian accent. Can you give us your best British accent?
Apparently, when I
It hasn't started.
It hasn't started. I can sound a bit northern. Oh my god, it's a Sunday.
I noticed the podcast and you can't see my reaction, but I nearly vomited, everyone. Thank you for that treat.
You're welcome.
You stick to singing.
Yes,
singing.
I know. I always say to people, further down my career when I've, made my successes as a musician, I'm definitely not going into acting. I think I'm going to do the fashion route. I think fashion would be the route I go down, yeah.
Nice. Shall I try and do an Australian accent for the rest of the podcast episode now? Ooh, I heard that and that was cringe.
Let's not.
Nah.
Nah.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
No, yeah. So obviously we met because of the Royal Vauxhall Gay Sports Day,
yes,
where you were on the team with the Bitten Peach.
Yes.
And I know Raheem, who's been a guest on this podcast before, who's lovely. He's also a member of the Bitten Peach.
Yes.
So it's, for people who don't know, Gay Sports Day is essentially it's a day one day in a year on a bank holiday where a bunch of gay groups and socials will form teams and then do various gay sports.
That's
like,
right.
Purse throwing and mincing and
yes. Although
I
don't know if Tug of War will be in next year's game since Squid Game happened.
I haven't seen it yet.
I've seen
it.
Oh, okay.
I'm leaving it for the weekend. I know there's a Tug of War game involved. And a candy game as well.
Yeah, it really switches things up with tug of war. So we'll see if it's in the games next year.
Did you enjoy Gay Sports Day there?
Did I enjoy it? I don't like fitness at the best of times.
You're always at the gym. I've seen your Instagram. You're always working out.
Yeah, but that's because it's like part of my job. But it's also, for fitness and for health and all of that kind of stuff. But it's so that, I can be fit enough to get out of bed hungover for these podcasts, James.
Yeah, that's very kind of you. Very strong. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
But you were so sweet though, because I bumped into you when I went to see the Candy Shack. Is that the name of the show?
Candy Shop, yeah, Candy Shop.
Candy Shop, not Shack. Yes. The Candy Shop. And I was meant to go with people, but then I ended up going by myself. And then you were there, and you were really sweet, and you brought me up to a table with your friends, and you were so kind to let me sit with you, because I was like, I'm by myself.
Well,
you should know. It was such a good show as well.
It was. Well, you should know I don't just do that with anyone. I am very picky who I actually spend my time with, so.
I'm flattered. So I know you're super busy. I know today you've got a new single out, which we will talk about. But before we get there, before we get to the present, I want to go back in time and just really find out who is Tin. Actually, no. Before we do that, I want to start off with Happy Moment.
Oh, okay.
The new segment of the show where we start the show on a happy, positive note, where I ask my guests to share their happy moment, where they give either a fact, a story, anything that makes them happy, and they think other people would be happy as well hearing it. So, Tim, can you please share your happy moment?
Okay, so, and it's more like a sequence of events. So I'm on tour in 2019, and I booked a show in Spain, but in like a smaller city called Manilva. A lot of expats. And it's a huge show, wall to wall. I can't even, I'm struggling to get from the entrance to the backstage because there are so many people, right? And my whole trip in Spain, I've been there for a few days, I had not seen a single twink. And I am very attracted to twinks. And obviously everyone in Spain is very hairy as well. Each to their own. And I'm doing sound check, and there is the most beautiful Twinkie dancer, and he's the only one I'd seen in the space of like 4 or 5 days. Anyway, we get talking backstage. I do my show, he does his show, and then I am like vehemently chasing through this crowd to go and find him. As a fan then wants to take my photo, and as that happens, a line forms. So then a line of people are wanting photos with me while all I want to do is go and find this man. That happens. Anyway, I eventually find him. Turns out he's into me as well, and then we're making out and hooking up in the artist toilets. Fast forward 2 hours later, I once again drink way too much. My booker peels me off, and he's like, you need to go to the airport, because my next show is in 12 hours in fucking Zurich, Switzerland. And so then I almost missed my flight. I do the layover in Portugal, and I walk out on stage like 2 hours after getting off my flight to a sea of people, and I could not see the end of people. And it was too legit to quit. Like, it was one of those moments where I was like, wow, like, this is the kind of moment that, I'd been dreaming for. This is like the real next level for me. Yeah, so that's my happy moment. It was kind of like just like a crazy sequence of events over 2 days.
Jesus.
Yeah.
The lifestyle of a singer-songwriter pop star.
I know.
Kissing all the boys, flying to various locations. Do you know where he is now in the world?
He's in Malaga, Spain now. Yeah. One day I'll go back.
Do you stay in touch, or?
Sometimes, when I'm drunk in the middle of the night.
Well, thank you for sharing that lovely moment. So, to give people, I guess, a scale of what you do, where have you performed in the world? Like, where have you toured? Where have you gigged?
So I've gigged in, should I say cities or countries?
Or both. Cities? Countries, both, yeah. Geography is hard.
So in Australia, I performed in Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne. The biggest festival is probably Tropical Fruits Festival in New South Wales, which is one of the longest running queer festivals in Australia. And then in Europe, I've performed all over London. I've done like UK Black Pride, Southampton Pride, Sheffield Pride, just a lot of prides in London. Sorry, in the UK. But I've also done Scotland, Manilva, Spain, Zurich, Switzerland, Bremen and Frankfurt in Germany, Bregenz in Austria. I did Amsterdam Pride, which was pretty wild.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the crux
Just
of
a
it.
few.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
a few.
it's more. It's a mix, little bits. Do you have any particular standout gig moments that really make you think, "Wow, I'm doing it"?
It were actually two particular. There was Croydon Pride.
Croydon Pride.
Yeah, Croydon Pride. But the next day, I get a message from someone who had seen me. And he was just like, I was really nervous before going to the event because it was my first ever Pride. But just seeing you on stage, owning who you are, like really gave me the courage to be there. And, you know, as a musician, I'm really out to inspire and make a difference to people while my ass is hanging out. And, yeah, and, you know, like that kind of thing is very rarely quantifiable. And that I get a message like that was just so amazing. But the second one was probably in the same vein. I'd like done my show in Austria, like extremely hungover, and I get this random voice note from a random person I don't know. And it was like this young girl in Switzerland who'd seen my show in Zurich. And yeah, and she was like, same thing, you know, you are so cool. Keep doing what you're doing.
Again, that's maybe not do the accents, but that's great, yeah. Oh, that's so sweet. How lovely to, I guess you mustn't really get a lot of that feedback a lot of times. So I guess that's the beauty of social media. People can reach out to you.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Back to you and your singing. Have you, were you born just naturally perfect and great, or have you come from training, schooling? How have you mastered your craft?
Yeah, I was born being able to sing and hold a tune. I started pretty early when I was like 8, and I remember this girl in school was like, "Oh wow, you can actually sing," and that kind of started it all. And then I started getting training when I was like 15, and yeah, like I don't know, I think I've been trained on and off for like 10 years or something. Not so much these days, just because I've got a lot of the foundations in. I wouldn't say that I'm like a vocalist, if you get what I mean. You know, there's the how would I say this? The Ellie Gouldings and the you know, Ollie Alexander and MNEK, you know, compared to like, you know, Mariah, Celine, Sam Smith, Jessie J. I wouldn't say I'm up there, but you know, I'm a pop musician. I make music. Yeah. I wouldn't say that I'm a singer as such, you know, if that makes sense.
No, totally does. Yeah. So I guess your family must have been quite encouraging then of you going down this route.
Yeah, I mean, like my dad got me my first and still, you know, a keyboard that sits in my room in Australia when I started writing when I was like 15 as well. And yeah, my mum's like my number one fan. Oh. I try not to get addicted to view watching when I release music videos, but like for Viva Forever, when I released it and I was staying at home during lockdowns in Australia, she would like to update me like every second day, being like, just so you know, this is how many views Viva Forever has now. Oh. And obviously she's a lot older, and so, you know, like 500 views seems like a lot for her.
If I can get 500 listeners, that'd be fun. So, talking about your mum, how does she feel? Because your songs, when you perform, you're very often, well, the times I've seen you perform, you've been in your pants and your underwear. Yes. Very often sporting an Andrew Christian brand. Yes. How does she feel about that? Seeing a little boy up there dancing and singing in his little jock.
I think she just thinks it's humorous and cute, like probably endearing more than anything. And I think she gets, like, you know, that's part of my shtick. I mean, I'm one of 5 in my family, like, siblings. And so one of us was going to be the hoe in the family. and it ended up being me. But yeah, I mean, like I actually, fun fact, when I released Don't Say His Name, I don't know if you've seen that one. It was like 3 years ago. It's rather like the music video is basically a one night stand, like seeing the different processes, the stages of a one night stand. And she was like, I think you could have like added in maybe like going to the movies or like having dinner together or something. I was like, oh, mum, that's got nothing to do with the music video, but thank you.
Well, to look at you though, you would think you were a lovely little children's TV presenter, and really, your songs are a bit sexy. Well, they are sexy.
Thank you.
And your performance is quite sexy. You're sexy.
Thank you.
Have you always been body confident and quite not overtly sexy, but have you always been sexy on stage? Hi everyone, I'm James, and I do a podcast where I can't talk or say what I really want to say. Have you always been like have you always owned your sexiness?
Actually, no. Fun fact, no. I used to be the chubby kid, and I could say that definitely carried on some negative opinions about myself growing up. And it didn't really click that I, had my looks up until I moved to London. And I think that's one of the things that I don't like about Australia is that a lot of people are actually pretty racist. Even unintentionally, it's just like part of the culture that people have grown up in. And so it's not a grudge that I harbor, but when I came to London, the amount of attention I got just like grew exponentially. And I was kind of like, where the fuck did this all come from? And and I just grew into that, like grew into my looks, grew into expressing myself that way. But I also realized how important it is for me personally that I am a demonstration of being, confident in the body that you're in. And I still have my days, like even right now in the last few months post lockdown, I still have issues with my body, having gained weight. But I'm committed that I'm that person that inspires other people to, be confident with their body, regardless of how it looks.
Amazing. Good. Do you ever get cold up there when you're just wearing pants?
I do. I'm backstage in Coventry. This fucking sarcastic drag queen. I was in my pants. It was fucking August. And they're like, are you cold there? I was like, what the fuck do you think? But actually, thank goodness, a lot of my shows these days have big lights, so they keep me warm.
Good.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh. So you've done a video where, forgive me, I can't remember the name of it, where you essentially were surrounded by a lot of men.
My harem.
All sporting Andrew Christian.
Yes.
Firm. How did you get in Firm? Yes.
I'm sorry, oh I'm sorry, but when I kiss you, no it doesn't burn. I'm sorry, oh I'm sorry, I know what I like.
You've got a great line from that song, which I love. There is a Hercules inside me. There is a Hercules inside of me, which I noted, and I quite like that line.
Thank you.
How did you get involved with Andrew Christian?
So, the music video I mentioned before, Don't Say His Name, actually wind it back even further. So I did some volunteering with Gay Star News, which is a online editorial that used to exist. Unfortunately, they don't anymore. But I did some volunteering work with them, helping them with a fashion show, because my background is actually fashion shows and event management and the modeling industry. And I got the contact for Andrew Christian through them. And at the same time, I was working at Cuba, and Andrew Christian sponsored Cuba at London Pride. So then I got a free pair of Andrew Christian underwear, being a Coo boy. Had their contact. So those two things, and then I coincidentally wore that same pair in the music video for Don't Say His Name. And this video got a little bit viral, and so then I I dropped them a line. I was just like, hey, do you want to collaborate? I want to host a competition for this music video. And they said yes. And so since then, they've just been sponsoring my tours and shows whenever I ask. And I worked for them at London Pride in 2019, pre-Pandora. And yeah, I've just had a really great relationship with them since. And Firm was kind of like the next level up for me in terms of my relationship with them, because I'd had the whole concept mapped out in my head, and I'd made friends with the head of marketing, because I work with a guy who's under marketing, but I made friends with the head of marketing for Andrew Christian, and was like, so I know I normally only ask for like 2 pairs, but like, can you please give me 2 outfits for each person in my music video, which equated to like, I don't know, 15, 16 pieces or something like that. And they said yes. So yeah, that's kind of how that came about, eventuated.
Well, Andrew Christian, if you're listening, I like underwear, and I'll wear it when I'm you can't see it when I'm recording, but I'll wear it when we record. Sure, why not? Yeah. Or anyone. Hello, just eat. Any mattress. Squarespace. Like money. So when you came to London, how did you? Because you're obviously part of the collaboration, the Bitten Peach.
Yes.
How did you find them? Or how do they find you? Who found who?
People don't really know this because I went back to Australia for a bit, but I was around for the original founding of Bitten Peach. So I started off. So I worked with a guy who soon after started drag, Polka Dot, who was in my latest music video. Anyway, so Rob gave me the contact for Shay Shay, who is who's one of the founders of the Bitten Peach. And at the time, Shay Shay was hosting the Shay Shay show in Limehouse, I think it's called.
That's fun to say.
Yeah.
The Shay Shay show.
The Shay Shay show, yeah. And it was fucking awesome. Like, just these amazing lo-fi shows in East London. I had so much fun. Anyway, the Shay Shay show ended, and then the Bitten Peach started. And that's kind of how I started with them, was like, I started performing at the Shay Shay show. Yeah.
Nice. For those who don't know, could you define what the Bitten Peach is?
So the Bitten Peach is a Pan-Asian performance collective, and we do shows all over London. I think they're starting in North England as well, and we cover all different performance types, or what's it called? Acts, arts, dancers, drag queens, drag kings, cabaret performers, singers, yeah. And we're all very good as well. I think that's one of the requirements of the Bitten Peach, is you have to actually be good.
If I could wave a magic wand and you could make any sort of music video in the world, what music video would you do? What would you envision?
Oh my god, I was talking about this the other day. I really want to do like a Greek god theme kind of music video. So like have it be around like the Greek gods with like angels and like Pegasi. And I would probably be Neptune.
Oh, nice.
Or,
would you have like the whole daddy
Atlas.
beard, or
That maybe, I don't know. I can't say Asian men have daddy beards.
I mean,
I'll have like a
why not?
wispy daddy beard. Yeah. It'll be a prosthetic. Yeah. But I think it'd be something like that with a chariot.
Now I'm not familiar with the process of how it all works. Are you part of a record label? Are you
I do it
sufficient?
all independently.
Independently, not
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, I do it all independently. For now, anyway. Fucking
nice.
It's exhausting. Let me give you
bet.
that.
It must
Can't
be
wait
nice
for
that
someone
you
to
said-
pick me up and just wait on me.
But your partner, he's also a singer, is that right?
Yeah, he's my producer as well, actually. Very, very
okay.
talented.
I was going to say, do you work together? But
Yes, yeah. So he produces all my music, tells me when I suck, tells me when I need to retake things, tells me when I'm doing the wrong notes. So he's exactly the kind of producer that you want.
Nice. And the one you can, kiss and make up with at the end of the
Yeah,
recording session.
that's right.
It's fine.
That's exactly right. And that's
So
all
before
we
we
do.
get on, before we get on to your latest single, you not too long ago you brought out Weasel,
Yes.
which is essentially a bit of a middle finger to people who are arseholes.
Did you think I wouldn't clap back? Motherfucker, here's your clap back.
Came along and played my heart. You played it like a weasel, and now you're just irrelevant. Fuck, you're so evil.
Anything that I can do, you think that you do better. On the couch and run your mouth and talk about the weather.
Is that
Yes.
how would you define Weasel?
A diss track. It's a trap pop diss track. Yeah, it's actually about someone who I'm really, really good friends with now. I don't know if you saw, but I recorded a Zoom call with him where we went through the song and I explained to him what I was referencing in different parts of the lyrics of the song. And he took it all in good faith. So, because I mean, like, we had this huge fight. It was awful, and he's changed a lot. Like, he's grown up a lot since we had that fight. So, yeah, we're very close now, which is good. But yes, it is a diss
Good.
track, and I was amazed by how many people could not amazed by how many people could relate to it, but just because the lyrics were so specific to what was going on between him and I didn't know that other people would be able to find themselves in what I was singing, but that was definitely a bonus. So I was glad about that.
It's a really cute video as well. It's the theme is I guess very much a children's TV show where you've got
Yes.
colourful patterns and puppets.
Yes,
I love
yes.
this. I love the skeleton puppet. Where is it? Do you have it? Is it there right now with you?
No, it's back in Australia. That was my friend. Yeah. That was the other thing about Weasel is that all of like a handful of my friends and I were all in on it. Except he wasn't. He had no idea. So yeah, it was pretty funny when everyone was like, we all knew except for you. Yeah.
How
it was
did
good.
how did he take it when you said, "Oh, by the way, I've written this track"? And it's about
He was like,
you"?
I am so privileged to have a song be about me. And a lot of his friends are like, Josh doesn't need any more attention. Why are you giving this to him? Yeah.
So was that filmed in Australia then?
Yeah, it was filmed in Melbourne. So basically, I had just shot Firm and was leaving in 2 weeks' time. And I was kind of like, fuck, I'm going into London with like, 20 million cases a day. I have no idea what I'm getting myself into. So I thought I would quickly shoot a music video with this green screen idea just to have in my back pocket should shit go down here while I was here in London and have nothing to
Sure.
release. And lo and behold, I ended up facing a lot of delays with the music video that I'd just released. So it made sense to just drop Weasel. And it was actually meant to be a filler track, which was kind of the bittersweet moment I had about it. Was I was like, okay, I'll just drop it. I won't put too much behind it. I'll just like do what I do. And then people fucking loved it. And so I was like, oh, full rollout. I'm so tired while I'm organizing this other music video. So yeah, it was a blessing. It was a blessing in disguise in the end. But I'm definitely ready for a beach holiday in the Bahamas.
Oh, okay. Well, from that video to your new release, Stung, which came out
Yes.
today.
Today,
We're
yes.
recording Friday the 15th of October.
Blow this up, I walk in the smoke will arise. Prepare yourself, cause I'm a hell of a nasty surprise. I'll do anything just to have my fun. So you better watch out, darling, or you get stung.
You got into drag. You're a
I
drag queen.
did.
Have you ever done drag before, or is this the first?
Never.
time?
Like, it was so ingrained in people's heads that I don't do drag that a lot of my friends didn't comment on my Instagram post for my first ever drag pic. And it was because a lot of them didn't even think it was me. They didn't realize it was me. Apparently, I was so convincing. But yeah, I've never done drag before. And to be honest, I don't think I'll do it again, at least not for a long time.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
hard. Drag is hard.
It's a lot. It's a huge commitment, and kudos to the really good ones. But yeah, definitely not me. Lol.
So take us through Stung and the song and the video.
So the song is called Stung. I wrote it in 2016, and it was after a night out in a trashy club in Brisbane, where I kept meeting all these really pretentious gays. I was kind of like, who the fuck do you think you are? You're in a trashy club in Brisbane. Why the fuck are you behaving this way? And so I went home, and the next day, I wrote Stung, and it's basically like you don't know who I am to be treating me that way. You don't know who people are. You don't get to talk to people that way. And yeah, the song is basically like the hook is you better watch out or you'll get stung. And it's basically saying to people, don't be an asshole because you never know who people are.
Mm.
And thank goodness that I ended up achieving all the things I did in London. Otherwise, I'd sound like an idiot. But
You showed them.
I
It
showed
worked out.
them. Fucking in
Yeah.
Brisbane still won't fucking book me for Big Gay Day in Brisbane. I'm so salty about that. I performed in crowds like fucking 20 times the size of that crowd, and they still won't fucking book me. But
But we're over
yes,
it. It's totally
I'm.
chill. Totally chill.
Yeah, totally chill. Yeah. Put it in the past. But I then sparked this idea. I wanted to do something in the spirit of like you don't know what I'm capable of, which is the message of the song. I wanted to do something that people didn't know that I was capable of. So the idea of doing it in drag came to mind, and then yeah, the rest is history. I booked a handful of my friends and a couple people I had to scout, and the pub that we shot at was somewhere I performed before, and it was actually the friend of a friend is the owner of that pub, and uh, and then and I had one of my favorite drag queens, Miss Asia Thorne, do my face, which was
Yes.
very very humbling. And LaPhil, who's in the music video, I saw him perform for the first time at the Shay Shay show, going back in the day, and he's really inspired me when I was just starting out, again, in here in London. And to have LaPhil in my music video was very humbling as well. So yeah, it was very full circle that I got to finally finish, like release that song because it's gone through, another producer's head. And it's hosted by EQ Music Live, which is a music blog. And the headliner is Milo, who has flown over from America, and he is like amazing. Like, when you listen to someone's music or see someone perform, and you're like, this person is going to be big. Like he's one of those people. But the lineup is just awesome as well. So my partner Lost Child is performing. We've got Mickey Taylor, Nick Billington, and myself. So it's like gay men's pop music lineup basically, and it's gonna be so good. I'm so excited.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah, and it's in Dalston, so yeah, I'm excited for that.
Speaking of music and people you listen to, who are you listening to at the moment?
A lot of me.
Do you tend to listen to other people?
Some,
time?
I like half. I think when I because I like these days I'm often doing back-to-back releases and writing and recording. I do listen over to myself as much as I can just to get everything perfect. But when I'm not, it's usually when I'm working or training actually at the gym. I dedicate that to me time. I'm one of those people that listens to like songs rather than like a whole album at a time.
Sure.
And I'm really into 24/7 by LaPhil and Magic by Kylie Minogue and Physical by Dua Lipa. Those songs
Nice.
really get me going.
Okay,
Oh, and
cool.
I also really love Crying in the Club by Camila Cabello.
Do you tend to listen to, as a kid, who are your like icons?
Oh my god, icons, easy question. Mariah Carey. I'm like obsessed. I was obsessed with Mariah Carey for like 6 years or something like that. Um, and Christina Aguilera, uh, and Leona Lewis. I really loved some Whitney Houston. Yeah, mainly them. A lot of the big voices. I guess that's where I got my love for singing from as well.
Obviously, you've just brought out your new single.
Yes.
But is there more coming up in the future? What can we expect from you, Tim?
So, I'm currently, by currently I mean I've just started writing a Christmas single.
It's exciting. I love Christmas
So
songs.
I'm hoping that works out because Christmas is a tricky time to coordinate and navigate.
Hmm.
And then early the beginning of next year is another single called Sex Cologne and Cigarettes, which will be the title for my EP. And then after that will be another EP that's already starting to be recorded. So I've got stuff in the works right up until June next year, which is pretty full on.
Thank you very much for being a guest on the podcast today. I know it's been a bit of a technical marathon with all the technologies. How can people best find you? How can we see your work and stalk you?
So all of my social media is under Tin Official Music. That is Tin like tin can. And stalk away. Slide into my DMs, say hi, comment on everything. I usually comment back, so I look forward to hearing from all of you. And thank you for having me, James.
No,
James
it's my absolute pleasure.
J.
Thank you so much.
What is your real name?
Mystery.
Mystery.
Well, thank you so much. I love. I've been going through your past catalogue of songs. I really like what's it called? Contour.
Contours. Oh my god, everyone loves contours, and
I
keep
love
saying,
Contour.
I keep saying to Joe, we need to recreate that song, and he was like, I can't do anything better than what's already done. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it soon.
So
Maybe in the album after
through
the second
catalogue.
EP. Yes.
Everyone needs to go through
Do
your
that.
past catalogue. Check out all your sexy music videos. Check out your sexy gram. And if you're free, go see Tin sing. He's a great singer. He's got some good show. He might wear some pants.
Maybe, we'll see.
Ooh, a review. Ooh. Well, thank you again. I will
you.
see you in real life very soon, I'm sure.
Yes,
and in the
see you
meantime,
soon.
have a fantastic week.
You too. Recover well.
Yes, you. And you. All right. Bye.
Bye.